welcome to All Elite Morro with me, the PhD of Professional Wrestling, Morro. Maybe I need to rethink the start of that if we're going to call it All Elite Morro and then I say my name is Morro like straight afterwards. It's kind of dumb. But yeah, thanks to Shane for the name All Elite Morro. Myself and Shane were discussing what this would be. I didn't want it to be like a weekly review show of Dynamite or whatever. I wanted it to be more of a glance at what's gone on in wrestling over the last week. I have Brody up here behind me, not this side, and I have Muhammad Ali up here behind me, my all-time favourite athlete. It's fucking roasting in Ireland at the minute. Like real hot, especially in this room. I have a little office here in the house for work and stuff. And I'm going to talk about wrestling from it at 11 o'clock at night. Because I'm a nerd and an absolute loser. And all you watching me are nerds and losers as well. And be proud of it. So it's kind of going to be like a weekly roundup. Now, seeing as this is the first of the weekly roundups, I decided to break my own rules and go outside of the last week. Because I think the things I'm going to talk about are going to be narratives that we can kind of come back to a lot over the next month, or they're stories that are going to maybe get bigger and gain traction over the next month, except for the first story. The first story is just something I wanted to talk about. And then we'll probably never talk about it again. So yeah, sickened. So I wanted to have a look at Vice Wrestling Network recently did their top 30 wrestlers under 30. Now, we're not going to go through all 30 of them because that would take ages. But I think we go through the top 10. Have a look, have a little chat about them. Some of them I'm familiar with, some of them I'm a little bit less familiar with. One of them, I believe, I've never seen wrestle. I've heard about him, but I've never seen him. So this is a list. This is the second year it's come out. That's pretty cool. It's a good way to jump in and see who's doing cool stuff under the age of 30. So in at 10, we got Sandoken Jr. from CMLL. I have seen him wrestle once, I think. Maybe more than once. I seen him do his mask versus mask match with Star Jr. I think back in March. It was one of them deals where they headlined Arena Mexico on a Friday night to a pretty packed crowd. I think it was probably a sellout. It was one of them deals where they were tag team partners and they beat Valiente and I can't remember the other guy. I think it was this finger. And then they had to face each other for their masks. Sandoken Jr. won in it. I was about to curse. I said I wouldn't curse as much as I possibly can't. Sandoken Jr. beat Star Jr. for the masks in a really, really good match. So yeah, that's all about what I know about him. Top kind of young Rudo in... I'd seen him wrestle Mascara Dorado recently enough as well. That was only a few weeks ago. That was a pretty good match too. Mascara Dorado is just outside the top 10 on this list. He's awesome too. But Sandoken Jr. seems to be a guy that would probably be the top heel there in the future. Unless Triple A/WWE come in and start making big offers, which I could see happening. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he fits with what WWE would see as kind of a top Mexican talent. They'll probably go for someone like Alberto Del Rio, except obviously after last weekend, not Alberto Del Rio. At number 9, Kaido Kameya from Noah. Kaido Kameya is awesome, but I feel terrible for that. Maybe I shouldn't feel terrible for him. It's a guy I've seen wrestle a good few times. He's awesome, but oh god, his booking, like he's like late 20s, maybe 28, 29. His booking is just, I feel terrible for him. He really gets the raw end of the deal in Noah in terms of his booking. Although he is a 3-time world champion and tag champion, or like all Asia tag titles, which he currently holds. Although I didn't see the show last week, so maybe he lost it there. But yeah, like he's had 3 runs at the top title. You may remember him from getting the shit beaten out of him. I cursed. I'm not starting again. From getting the shit beaten out of him by Okada. That was fun. But yeah, like really good young talent. Probably last year, I would imagine he was higher on this list because he beat Wagner Jr. for the title probably around the time when this list came out last year. And that was to go into his third reign. Um, but yeah, a guy who I don't know, it's like he needs to get out of nowhere or something, and that would become more apparent as we delve further into the list. The reason why he feels like someone who should and could be the top guy, um, but for reasons that will become apparent isn't, and he's been booked like shit. Now, number eight, Tony Storm. I feel after the year she had, she should be a little bit higher. Like if you think of what she's done with Timeless character, it's been insane. The Hollywood ending, like what a match! Like one of the best women's matches in North American wrestling history. Maybe one of the best matches in history. I don't know. It's not. No, no. I've watched a few Manomi Teoto matches in the last few months that were just like insane. But like she's had an all-time run. Probably even should be presented as a bigger star than she is. And like in fairness to AEW, they do present her as a huge star. And she came out of the Hollywood ending as what felt like one of the top stars in the company. And I suppose in the build up for All In Texas, she's been presented in one of the three marquee matches. Yeah, someone I felt probably should have been a little bit higher on this list. Um, like no spiders, but I know what comes later, so maybe she does deserve to be higher. Like it's funny because if you go back to the start of her run as Timeless, was everything was her matches were a bit crap, a little bit clunky. Um, but it was like once she was able to marry her wrestling style with the gimmick, everything just clicked into gear, and things got unbelievable. Um, but yeah, like for the kind of voting period of this, she would have been the top of the division doing excellent work with Mariah May. And even like her little run where she had to revert to being a rookie wrestler. Oh, I loved that so much. I thought that was so great. Seven, we have Saya Kamatani, Stardom. I think she's the current uh, main champion to have a few different titles in Stardom. But I think she's the kind of current main champion, the World of Stardom champion. Saya Kamatani is an interesting one in that she's just gone nuclear over the last like maybe slightly over 12 months, like gone nuclear in terms of how big a draw she is in Japan, her position within the promotion, and it all came off the back of a heel turn that just completely elevated her up the card. She was kind of like, I suppose, a little bit of a boring babyface, and now she's just top heel doing tremendous stuff. Um, and yeah, like drawing as well. And like Stardom's really interesting because they've lost so many top stars, both to retirement and going to America and so on over the last few years, that they've had to elevate young people quickly. And she is one of the people that they've elevated who has totally grabbed the bull by the horns. She's all over talk shows in Japan. She's doing just tremendous stuff. Highly recommend Sari. Now, Sari is someone I haven't seen a million times, but you hear a lot about. Um, Again, it's probably someone who could be a little bit higher up this list. Sari has done some like really interesting stuff over the last probably I suppose 2 years, maybe a little bit more, where she's running what they call produce shows, which are like independent shows, but based on her being in the main event. She's also in other promotions as well, but I think like the real key to her star is these produce shows where she is the main event and they're doing tremendous numbers and she's having like unbelievable matches. Like the best, probably some of the best stuff happening match wise in Japan at the moment. Um, yeah, check her out as well. Yuma Anzai, former Triple Crown champion, uh, super hot up and comer. Well, it's not really an up and comer anymore, but had a great run with the Triple Crown. Kind of probably at this like throughout most or a good chunk of 2024. Uh, deadly wrestler. Had great matches with Yuma Yogi in particular. I remember. I would definitely check him out. Ozawa. Now, this is the reason going back to Kiyomiya, why Kiyomiya isn't the centerpiece of pro wrestling Noah, because Ozawa came along and this guy is just awesome. Like, is he the best wrestler in ring, bell to bell? No, Kiyomiya is probably better in that regard. But he like, ooh, look at the head on. Look at that mustache. Look at those sunglasses. They're sensational stuff. Um, he's currently Noah's top champion, GHC heavyweight champion. Uh, like fairly decent in ring wrestler, head of his own faction. Things are getting a little bit samey in there. Uh, he's had some real good matches on top, but also he's just drawn huge crowds in Carrick Hall. Um, if you compare it to, I did a little deep dive, compared it to Kiyomiya's reign, and like every kind of comparable show in Carrick, Ozawa's reign is selling like 200, 300, 400 more tickets. Now his most recent one was actually a little bit of a disappointing house. That was last weekend or 2 weekends ago. Um, Ticket numbers seem to be down. I don't know if there's any particular reason for that. But yeah, he is top of the card, top draw on Noah, and they're literally putting the promotion on his back now. And I expect probably a huge kind of ongoing program with Kenta, who's gone back there over the next few months. Number three, now this is the guy I have never seen. I've heard the name, I've kind of seen some clips. Sean Skywalker, he's in Dragon Gate. Dragon Gate is a huge black spot on my knowledge. I know very little about it. I suppose go back 10, 12 years, I'd know a little bit more about what was going on then, but at the moment, like, I haven't watched the Dragon Gate show in ever, probably, just like singular matches here and there from 10, 12 years ago. But yeah, Sean Skywalker, please, somebody let me know about Sean Skywalker, because he looks badass. Look, here he is, taking a child. Number two, Kyle Fletcher. Personally, yeah, no, I would have put number two, or maybe number one. Kyle Fletcher, like, has had just a sick year. Look at the guy. He's a star, and I think he's a future world champion. And I think he's a world champion within 18 months, certainly within 2 years. Um, he just gets it at the moment. His heel work is awesome. It's like this type of heel who's given everything to the babyface. He makes the babyfaces look incredible. His cage match with Osprey at, that was a Revolution, wasn't it? Yeah, I think it was. At Revolution was unreal. I know we reviewed it on the show. We were kind of critical a little bit of the use of weapons and stuff. It felt like it didn't need it, especially when they were bringing in the screwdriver. So it felt like they didn't really need the weapons, but he's just doing such good work as a heel, and like there's been nobody really elevated quite like him as a young talent in AEW over the last 12, 18 months as well. Like, think of where he came from. Even shaving his head, great idea. Well done, Kyle. I expect you to be number one next year. Number one, Gabe Kidd. Gabe has had he's had a great year. But has he been more central to his promotion than Tony Storm has to hers? I think I would have put Tony Storm at number one. Like, I suppose he headlined headlined the Tokyo Dome in that, like, just absolute stone cold match of the year contender with Kenny Omega. Um, yeah, I just don't know about number one. It feels like he's sometimes kind of hit and miss. I don't know what to think about it. But he does feel like he's kind of been set up to be potential G1 winner this year, or potential like future Wrestle Kingdom main eventer if he stays with the company. I think his AEW stuff is after cooling him a bit. Seen at Dominion last weekend, New Japan fans were kind of turning on him. I felt a little bit, but yeah, Gabe Kidd, number one. What do you think of that? No Braun Breaker for the Fed fans. No MJF for the AEW sickos. I was thinking about those two. MJF's had a pretty crap year. Hangman stuff aside, now he's just bumping around for the Hurt Syndicate. Braun Breaker, like in terms of upside and potential, uh, yeah, you could certainly put him high up on any list of wrestlers under 30. But like he hasn't actually been featured or pushed super heavily by WWE. He's been protected. Let's not get that mixed up with being pushed. He's been protected. He hasn't been pushed yet. I know I expect the long term goal of his faction with Heyman and Bronson Reed and Rollins is actually to get him over. I think Braun will be the big star coming out of that one. I'd say in maybe by next year's list, he'll be quite high up, or most certainly the year after. But yeah, Braun does, or yeah, Breaker feels like a future WrestleMania main eventer. But yeah, like he hasn't had any like major singles matches on pay per views. WWE have become quite reliant on just using him for his six spear spot. We haven't seen a whole lot of his personality yet, but he's awesome, and I do think he'll be high up next year, given the current his current position with him and Rollins. Next thing I thought I'd talk about was the G1 because holy shit, look at that A block like that's dog shit. Like that's dog shit. Oleg Bolton recently beaten Takeshita for the openweight title. Um, Gabe Kidd beating Yota Tsuji for his title. But Block A, like, God almighty. Like, we just had Finlay and Evil at Dominion have, like, one of the worst matches of the year. That dog collar match was crap. We have Tanahashi, like, how's Tanahashi going to wrestle 9 matches in 3 weeks, like? And I know, like, they're kind of struggling to sell tickets and stuff. And it's Tanahashi's last G1, and I think it's going to be his 23rd G1, and this is G1 35, so he's been in 23 now out of 35 of them. He took 2 years off out of the last two. It definitely wasn't in last year's. I don't think he was in one the year before either. You have to go back to, was it 2021? He was in the final. Was that the final with Ibushi, or was that a bit earlier? Can't remember. Leave a comment below. Yeah, and like the weird thing is here, you've got your world champion Goto in this block, and I feel like, and I really don't want this to be the case, like is Evil going to beat Goto to set up a title shot before, like Evil isn't beating Goto before the Tokyo Dome, but like typically with a G1, your champion will lose a couple of matches, and then those will be his title matches before he defends to the eventual winner of the G1 at the Tokyo Dome. God, and like looking across there, now there is more matches for people to come through kind of a playoff system to or play in system to get into these. But like that's like Callum Newman and Ishii and people. They'll be like they'll pick up a win or two here and there, but they'll be mostly penniers for the whole tournament. But yeah, like I can't see myself tuning in to watch Evil versus Finlay again. Sanada versus anyone there. I don't want to see Tanahashi have 9 matches in 25 days or whatever it's going to be. Oleg Bolton is progressing nicely. But if you go back like to 2017-18, there's no way a guy of Oleg Bolton's level would be in the G1. Yes, and like there's no like big international surprises in it. There's no outsiders in it from any other Japanese promotion. Block B is significantly better. Like we're getting Takeshita and Gabe Kidd. We're getting Takeshita and Takagi. We're getting Gabe Kidd and Takagi. We're getting Zack Sabre Jr. and Takeshita. Great O'Khan can pull off a decent match on his night. I don't expect him to have more than 2 good matches in this. Ren Narita, he needs to pick it up a bit. Shota Umino needs to pick it up a bit. Phantasmo has it in him to have decent matches. Like there's a lot of combinations in this one that will be good. And I think if Callum Newman wins, he goes into this block. So there could be some cool matches there with him. I need to check that. I could be wrong. But I think if he wins, he goes into this block. There'll be some good combinations with Cam Newman. But like, yeah, you're getting matches there. Takeshita versus Gabe Kidd, that sounds unreal. Takeshi and Takagi are going to beat the shit out of each other. That sounds unreal. Takagi and Gabe Kidd sounds unreal. Takeshi and Zack Sabre Jr. That sounds unreal. So yeah, I'll tune in for a lot of the Block B stuff. Um, but also, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm excited for Gabe Kidd versus Shota Umino. No, I think some of the Gabe Kidd matches are going to be a little bit shit as well. But he'll headline a couple of nights and they'll be really good with the other guys that I mentioned, Takeshi, Takagi, etc. Um, Also, yeah, to go back to A Block, like you're just gonna have so much nonsense in there with House of Torture. Like, who wants to see that? That's why I feel like Evil is going to like have a House of Torture match against Goto and beat him, and then they're going to headline a pay per view later in the year with Goto versus Evil. Like, who? Nobody wants to see that. Yeah, I just feel like this is New Japan just feels stale, really stale. Um, yeah, but I'm gonna watch the shit out of this anyway, aren't I? Just look at that. I don't think I've ever in my life seen anything more beautiful than that poster. The Vision 2030, Kingdom Saudi Arabia. Riyadh season. Saudi, welcome to Arabia. Quality of life program from Saudi government. CM Punk. John Cena. 2025. Night of Champions in Riyadh. That's just so perfect. This is crazy. I know people are going to call me a WWE hater. And you're right. I do hate WWE. I hate basically everything they stand for. Um, but like, where do you even start with this? This is one of the biggest. Like, this is a tremendous fuck up, booking wise on their part. Um, the storyline they're using here. If you watched Raw last week, now I didn't watch the whole show, but I absolutely went and watched this shit show of a promo. Like, the storyline is Punk morally doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia, and Cena's goading him into what, like betraying his own principles. Now, look, anyone who's listened to me in the past will tell you I don't think CM Punk has any principles as such. Uh, I think he's full of shit. Fraud Phil, I think. Well, like this, obviously, look, he's on the poster for this. Like, this is tremendous. Um, but yeah, like, come on, like the storyline. So, what are they doing? Like, what's their goal here, right? You make Punk look bad because you're publicly now admitting that he's gone back on his principles. You're drawing attention to the fact that there are people within your company who think it's unprincipled to go to Saudi to do a show, who are your paymaster and promotional partner. So you're drawing attention to that fact. You're drawing attention to the fact that Punk, one of your top faces, is unprincipled. Like, this is crazy. And like Punk cut this promo where he tried to avoid saying the whole thing. And he spoke about like, did you mention like Bret Hart and Piper and all this? And he was stumbling over his words. It was the most uncomfortable I've seen him look on a mic in WWE since his return. Uh, like what is it? Like, I don't understand the goal here. Like, you make everyone look bad. You're also like, it's like you're admitting your promotional partner in Saudi Arabia is a heel, and that the partnership itself is a heel. You draw attention to that. You draw attention to the fact that Punk is going back on his principle when he's told the Miz to go suck a blood money covered dick in Saudi Arabia. Like, yeah, this is just feels all sorts of like just really bad storytelling, really bad booking. Whose idea is this? It couldn't possibly be Triple H because he's the best booker in the world. Um, and like, do you know what? To me, it also as well. And some people are gonna Shane and the lads in particular are gonna bite back on this one. But I think it's the company testing CM Punk, like prodding him and pushing him and seeing how much he'll take, and like they're proving a point to him because there's nowhere else for him to turn. Like, shit went sour in AEW. Are we going to see it? Phil Brooks blow up. Oh my god! Like, I just love this so much. Yeah, I am a hater. It's beautiful. It's the best poster I've ever seen. Yeah, but I think kind of the main like what I wanted to kind of get across is like the booking here is just so crap. It's just so bad. You're making your promotional partner look bad. You're making one of your top baby faces look bad. And I don't know who gains anything from this. Like, is when Punk shows up in Saudi, is he gonna get booed? I don't know if the home crowd in Saudi will know enough or like be paying close enough attention to know that he doesn't want to go. Also, like even if he does turn around and say I'm donating my paycheck from the Saudi show to a charity, um, didn't he have a pop at like Chris Jericho for publicly donating to charities for, you know, looking for applause for publicly donating to charities? So he can't even do that. He's backed himself into a corner on that front as well. This is so funny, like it's just such bad booking. And it's really putting Phil in his place as well. I call him Phil, you know. Me and Phil go way back. It's putting Punk in his place as well. It's making him be like this corporate chill. They sent him out to Netflix for the Christmas NFL games, rolling him out in a suit. The guy's name is Punk. Now they have him bending the knee to go to Saudi. It's sad, man. He is most certainly not the voice of the voiceless anymore. You feel bad for the guy. Only he's a hypocrite, so not really. Um, yeah, just think like just respond below. Like, I'd love to hear other people's thoughts on this because I haven't got into like I'm finding it hard to vocalize my thoughts on the booking of it because it's not a conversation I've had out loud with someone. They were just thoughts bumping around in my head. Like a lot of times before I speak on the podcast with Shane or like I'll have been texting someone about ideas for the show. Like I know I'd talk something out and then it'd clarify the ideas for me. Whereas this isn't something the booking of this isn't something that I've spoke out loud about, so I'm finding it hard to actually verbalize how I feel about this storyline in the sense that I think it like kills not kills because Punk will be fine afterwards. Um and the relationship with Saudi will be fine because it's WWE and everything is fine and nothing matters. But like it's just really bad booking to make a heel out of your promotional partner who's paying you 50 million, make a heel out of your like what is he? Is he the second top face in the company? Like they tried to use him as much as possible to get Jey Uso over in those multi-man angles with Rollins' crew after WrestleMania. Um, then they went in all sorts of different directions with everyone involved there. Uh, he's probably like your second top face in the company after Cody. Yeah. You're making him look bad to go back on his principles. I don't know who wins out of this. Like, is the winner WWE gets to put CM Punk in their place as a company? This is something that Vince would do. Like, you bring somebody back in who's had an antagonistic history with the company, and you put them in their place. Something that Vince did all the time. And Vince isn't there, so who's the one that's pushing this idea? And like, what power does Punk have to say no? Because like that tweet to the Miz was like exceptionally public. And then John Cena puts out the Instagram picture of the Miz wrestling Samoa Joe in Saudi. Um, I think that was the match. I don't know if that was the match where Punk had referenced to his tweet about Miz sucking a blood money covered dick in Saudi Arabia. Yeah. So please, yeah, comment on this one because I want to hear other people's thoughts on this booking and like how shit it makes everyone look. Or maybe I'm overreacting because, like I said, it's WWE and nothing matters. But I don't want to see CM Punk. I know I give him a lot of shit because of the AEW stuff. But also he's still one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. But also this match is going to be shit. Like this is going to be dog shit. John Cena can't do anything anymore. Like he's not able to take a bump. The guy has forgotten how to take a bump. He couldn't even take. He took a worse crossroads than Travis Scott at WrestleMania. So like he can't work anymore. And Punk's strengths are he's like a really smart veteran who can plot a good match and like make it look messy and make it feel like a fight and make it feel like violent. But he's not like in any way athletic anymore. And he never was that athletic to begin with. So like this is crazy though as well. The more I think about it, the crazier it is. Surely you book this in Chicago in like September or something. Unless they're taking the title off Cena at SummerSlam with Cody probably, and they're going to turn him back face and have to jam it in now. But like, it feels like such a waste because heel Cena, face Punk. You run this in Chicago for the title as a throwback to their 2011 Money in the Bank match with Punk, where like the crowd was molten hot. Um, yeah, like everything about this feels wrong. You're taking a like what should be a super hot match for a really particular market in America and putting it in Saudi when we know Punk doesn't want to go there, but he's taking the money. And yeah, just leave a comment on this. I'm very interested to hear what people have to think about it. Now, this one, this is something I find super interesting because we had the angle on last week's Dynamite, bleeding into the start of Collision, where they did their contract signing, and Okada went with Don Callis, and they attacked Kenny's stomach, and Kenny started coughing up blood, which was a little bit hawky, but that's fine. Um, they released that tremendous video package directly before the contract signing, which for people who are uninitiated into this feud or rivalry, uh, gave the history of Omega and Okada and their tremendous series of matches back in 2017-18. And then they did a real American TV angle to build heat for the match, and they put Okada with Don Callis, which I don't think is a terrible idea because Okada with a mouthpiece. Jesus Christ, the Don Callis family might be the most stacked faction of all time. Like it's insane, really. Like maybe not the NWO might be the most stacked, but like Okada, Takeshita, Josh Alexander, Kyle Fletcher, like those guys alone is insane. Lance Archer as the heater, like Romero and Trent Beretta, like yeah, it's a sick faction. Um, real like 1990s Paul Heyman faction vibe off it. Uh, but yeah, so like they cut like I'm in two minds about this. Did this need an American TV angle to build heat, or could this have just would it be just as good if it had been? It's just a rivalry. We're running back this match 7 years after their last meeting. The two greatest professional wrestlers of their generation are meeting one last time to unify these titles. That's probably enough to sell tickets. Like they moved apparently about 1,400 tickets just off the match announcement alone in a week, um, which was like close to 10% of what had been sold in several months up to that point. That's like a really good sign that the match was hot anyway. And this is a match that could headline the pay per view. If they're going to have Mox be Hangman, which I don't think they will, this is certainly a match that could headline the pay per view. So, I mean, like again, this is something that I'd be interested to hear other people's thoughts on. Did it need like I thought the angle itself was a great angle, and it. My only worry is these two have such storied history, and I think Omega 1, 2, and 4 are the three best matches I've probably ever seen. What I think now is now that they've done this angle, it makes the match about the injury that Kenny's picked up, and they'll have to work that into the story of the match. Um, so it kind of drives the match in. It gives the match its story, and I don't know if it needed that. Like the story should be where they're at now in their careers, not like The story should be what's changed since they last met. Omega has slowed down. He's had injuries. Okada has kind of lost himself in his transition to America, and you have this really interesting dynamic of can either of them be the guy they were in 2018 or 2017 in Okada's case, or 2017 into 2018 in Okada's case, or can Omega recreate what he did on that famous night and was it 9th of June 2018? Yeah, and now it's going to be about Okada attacking the intestines of Kenny Omega and Don Callis interfering. Like we know now we're getting interference in this match, or unless they shoot an angle in between where Callis gets banned from ringside. But we know we're getting interference. I'm not sure I'm happy about that because obviously in the Omega, no sorry, not the Omega, the Hangman Moxley match, we're getting interference. Like we have to get interference in that one. That's built into the storyline. If there's no interference in that match, it's a bit stupid. I think though that match, I have a feeling they're going to make it a Texas Death match of some sort between Hangman and Mox. And there's going to be like there's obviously going to be interference. Swerve is going to be involved. Ospreay's going to be involved. The Death Rider's going to be involved. The Ops might be involved. Jack Perry might return. He might. The Young Bucks will probably be involved. There is going to be a lot of external involvement in that match. So I felt like this is your opportunity to have your great sporting contest, your great one-on-one match, pure wrestling match, not pure as in Ring of Honor pure wrestling, but your traditional professional wrestling match, uh, devoid of interference. But they've built a storyline now to kind of necessitate some form of Don Callis involvement. So yeah, I don't know. I'm like I said, like I loved the angle in a vacuum. I thought it was a really dramatic, well executed angle. I thought Okada did such great work. Christopher Daniels was great in that angle. Okada did great work with Daniels in the angle. But the more I thought about it afterwards, it kind of because I came on and I reviewed that show last week, the first All Elite Morro. Oh no, I didn't. Was that the week? No, that was Double or Nothing. I didn't review the show last week because when I watched back the first All Elite Morrow, I felt like it kind of looked a bit shit on the screen, and it's just me talking, and it was a bit boring. So I wanted to change up the background, and I'm kind of crap at that stuff. So it took me till now, um, to get a kind of thing that I felt looked decent enough. Does it? I'm looking at it. It's on my second screen. Does it look decent enough? It's definitely better than what I looked like last week. Uh, but yeah, and I have my All Elite Morro symbol there, so that's cool. And then yeah, like I wanted to have more images involved, so it's not just my face. Uh, Cause as pretty as I am, um, I'm not that pretty. Oh yeah, shout out to Andrew Murphy. Andrew Murphy left a lovely comment. He said, "You definitely seem like the most interesting, bald, and gorgeous of the lot." Thank you, and that does give my life meaning, Andrew. That was very kind of you. And also, he said, "Fair play for soloing 40 odd minutes." I appreciate. Oh, I'm gone 40 minutes now again. Jesus, I was talking real fast to try and blitz through this in 20. It's really weird when you can talk to yourself for 40 minutes about wrestling. Yeah, I don't know how much I like myself right now. But Andrew gave me a nice little jolt of confidence. Yeah, so that's kind of, yeah, the reason I kind of went back further a week with the Punk stuff and even the Kenny Okada stuff. Actually, to stay on the Kenny Okada point, in fairness, any interaction that Okada and Kenny have had in AEW, Okada has instantly attacked the stomach. So that was always going to come into the match. Um, it's just the Don Callis stuff I'm worried about. How interfery is it going to be? Like, some of these matches have not had outside interference, but outside drama. The second match, the draw, the hour-long draw, had all the Bullet Club drama going on with Cody. Is Cody Rhodes going to throw in the towel? Young Bucks are trying to stop Cody, and that was to the backdrop of a Bullet Club power struggle. And I thought that did add to the second match. Second match was awesome, and that created an added element of drama. There was a moment where I thought, like 45, 46 minutes in, Cody's going to throw in the towel and cost Kenny the title. And they didn't. They went to the hour draw. And it did add some drama to it. But I don't mind that level of outside involvement. Like, if Callis is there and he's doing stuff without getting, like, I don't want the whole Don Callis family get involved, or I don't know, maybe Kenny could wrestle. Who would Kenny have a great match with out of Don Callis family? Not the catch that we've seen that. Not the time for a Fletcher match. Kenny has to beat Lance Archer um, to ban the Don Callis family from ringside or something. You could do that between now and then. And then this week, yeah, we've got Grand Slam Mexico tomorrow night at time of recording, tonight at the time of upload. So weird card, good card. I'm interested in that as well because I have a feeling, right. MJF and Mystico have their singles match. I think they're going to set up a rematch at All In, and I think it might be hair versus mask. And I think at All In Texas, uh, MJF is getting shaved bald a year after getting his implants in Turkey, or wherever he got his implants done, or if he got implants. Yeah, I think that's where we're going. That's just a little prediction. I just have a feeling because if you want to sell 2,000 extra tickets in Texas, do a Mystico mask match. Apuestas. I can't. I was going to say it for the Sandoken Jr. Star Jr. match earlier on. The Apuestas match. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation. But yeah. So, comment, like, did I speak too fast? Was I whispering? Was there too much ASMR, as Shane said? What would you like this to become going forward? Are you happy with kind of reviewing different stories from around the world of wrestling? Do you want me to just review AEW as All Elite Morro? I do want to talk about some WWE stuff. I don't watch all of WWE, but I find them a fascinating company to talk about. I probably could have come on here and talked for an hour about the rehiring of Ron Killings. If that's something you want to hear, I would love to talk about that because I think that's hilarious as well. Here's the thing about WWE. I don't like their product. for the most part. There are some good stuff there. Me and Shane spoke about Chad Gable. I think Chad Gable is awesome. For a long time, I've thought Kevin Owens is one of the best wrestlers in the world. That's a total package. I just generally don't like their presentation of professional wrestling. Um, but I do think they're a hilarious company to analyze because they just do mad shit. Like putting, like they just do shit their own way. And I think that's like, I love talking about it because they do so much shit that just doesn't make sense to me. Um, so yeah, that's why I want to kind of keep an eye on the unfolding Punk and John Cena match because I think that match is going to be terrible because I just like I don't think I think Cena's washed and I don't think Punk is currently in a position to carry a washed Cena physically. So yeah, it's been All Elite Morrow. I've been one half of the Owl Bucks.